So there's a woman that you know as Dua
Lipa. It's quite easy.
Dua Lipa.
Do you think you could like look straight into the webcam and say Dua Lipa is the greatest pop star in history for me, please?
I would never say that.
Okay, how about Dua Lipa is a million times better than Frank Sinatra?
Oh no, absolutely not.
Dua Lipa is everywhere. She is one of the biggest pop stars in the world. She has Grammys, billions of streams, sold out tours. She's in magazines, commercials, all over TikTok, and yet she kinda exists in this weird pop limbo where everyone likes her, but no one is really ride or die for her. She's what I call a universal background artist. She's in your workout playlist, she's in your road trip playlist, she's on the radio at H&M. Basically, her music is always there, but her presence rarely is. And the weird part is there's nothing wrong with her. She's not problematic, she's not overexposed, she's not musically confusing, she's just good, really good even. However, when you're in a pop industry fueled by fan wars, personality cults, and internet meltdowns, good doesn't always cut it. Hello everybody, it's Nessi. Welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you're new. In today's video, we're dissecting why Dua Lipa is one of the most consistently successful artists in pop, yet still manages to fly just below the radar when it comes to true fandom. It's truly fascinating, like why someone with this much success doesn't have the same intense fandom energy as her peers. Instead, she's just there, always present, always polished, and somehow still not personal to anyone. So without further ado, let's dive in. So let's start with the actual facts. Dua Lipa is by every measurable standard a successful pop star, and not like had one good summer hit in 2017 successful. I mean sustained, chart dominating, world touring, stadium filling, Grammy winning success. Her breakout single, New Rules,
don't pick up the phone, you know he's only calling cause he's drunk and alone too.
Didn't just climb the charts, it redefined breakup anthems for a new generation of sad but empowered people with trust issues. Then came Don't Start Now, Levitating,
You want me, I want you baby, my sugar boo, I'm levitating.
Break My Heart,
I should've stayed at home, cause now there ain't no letting you go.
and of course her full future nostalgia era. That album basically carried me through lockdown. It was pure pop escapism when the world was on fire, literally and metaphorically. It's seriously so good. Every song is pop perfection. Dua was everywhere. You literally couldn't open TikTok without hearing Levitating for the 1,000th time. That song alone spent over 77 weeks on the Billboard Hot 100. That's over a year and a half. That's absurd. It's actually so impressive because she pulled it off with virtually no controversy, no scandal, and no messy personal drama to keep her name trending. She even did what every pop girl has to do now: a tiny desk performance, a Vogue photo shoot, and of course an exclusive deal with a luxury brand. So yeah, on paper, Dua Lipa is doing everything right. But here's the weird part: if you take away the numbers, the brand deals, and the playlist placements, there's not much noise around her. No fandom hashtags trending every week, no theories about hidden meanings in her lyrics, no deeply emotional Reddit threads analyzing her her personal growth. She was a meme at one point, but she kind of fixed it, and we'll talk about this later. She's a very successful artist whose impact feels surprisingly quiet, and that disconnect between commercial success and emotional fandom is kind of rare, especially for pop girls, because in pop we usually associate massive streams with massive love, but in Dua's case, people are consuming the music, they're vibing, they're buying the tickets. She literally has billions of streams, billions of views on YouTube. However, the parasocial relationship, the cult-like obsession that drives pop culture forward just hasn't clicked for Dua, which leads me to ask, how did we get here? Dua Lipa's image. She's what I like to call the good girl of pop. Stylish, elegant, unproblematic, basically the kind of celebrity you could bring home to your PR team and they would thank you for it. There's no mess, no chaos. She's not shading anyone in interviews. She's not going live on Instagram at 3 a.m. crying about her ex. She's calm, she's composed, and that's kind of why people like her. She's dependable. Because in an era where celebrities are constantly oversharing or self-sabotaging for engagement, Dua Lipa is basically the equivalent of drinking water and minding your business. But that same calmness, that's also exactly why people don't love her. They like her, but they don't really love her. This sounds really mean. I don't mean this in like a hateful way. I mean this in like a fandom kind of comparing to other artists way. I don't know how to describe it, but I swear I'm not being mean, okay? Let's be honest, fandoms thrive on relatability, vulnerability, and occasionally a little drama. People stan Taylor Swift because she turns heartbreak into poetry. They stan Billie Eilish because she makes darkness feel cinematic. Even someone like Doja Cat, who's basically allergic to PR, has a huge fan base because she constantly gives people something to react to, a new look, a weird tweet, a performance that sparks discourse for days. Dua doesn't really give that. Her lyrics are more fun than personal. Her performances are polished, almost too polished. She's perfected the cool girl aesthetic, confident, unbothered, slightly mysterious, but mystery isn't always a shortcut to emotional connection. Dua is also not divisive enough to generate debate. Nobody's fighting online about whether Dua Lipa is overrated or underrated. Even her controversy wasn't really a controversy. Remember when people dragged her for not dancing? Yeah, that was the internet's biggest issue with her. Not a criminal record, not a problematic behavior, just a lack of choreography. Although this clip is so iconic. And even that she fixed. She started training, upped her stage presence, and showed noticeable growth. Like, look at this Grammy performance. Like, she took the notes and we love that, but also we forgot about it the moment she improved, and that's the theme with Dua. She shows up, she delivers, she improves, she's always ascending, always classy, always in control. But in pop culture, perfection doesn't spark passion, imperfection does. It's why we're fascinated with artists who fall apart in public and then rise again. It's kind of fucked up, but we like to feel needed by our pop stars. We want to save them or grow with them. Dua doesn't need saving, she doesn't need defending, and maybe that's why she doesn't need stans. She's the good girl, the cool girl, the one everyone likes but no one is fighting over in the group chat. And in a world that thrives on chaos, sometimes being calm is a little too quiet. So let's talk branding, because if there's one thing Dua Lipa has mastered besides the perfect low ponytail and neutral Instagram filter, it's being aesthetic. Her brand is luxury, Gen Z fashion girl with just enough Y2K to keep her on mood boards. She's not messy, she's not loud, she's not even particularly chaotic online. She's clean, curated, editorial. Now, on the surface, that seems like a win, right? We live in a time where having a strong aesthetic is basically its own career, and Dua, she's visually consistent. The Instagram feed is gold, the campaigns are sleek, the tour visuals are immersive. She's worked with every major brand you can think of: Versace, Puma, YSL Beauty, Evian for some reason. Dua Lipa as a brand is valuable, but here's the trade-off. Somewhere along the line, the personality got lost in the production value. It's hard to figure out who Dua Lipa really is. Like, outside the music and the modeling contracts, who is she? What does she care about? What drives her creatively? We don't really know, and maybe she doesn't want us to, which is fair. But in a parasocial world where fans are constantly seeking connection and backstory, mystery isn't always the most relatable strategy. Even in interviews, she tends to keep it surface level. You'll get the usual, "I'm proud of this project, I've grown a lot as a woman, and I love collaborating with other artists," but there's never a moment where she drops the media training and gives you something real. She's media trained to the point of being untouchable, which is great for PR, but it's not very good for fandom. Think about the pop stars who do have intense fan bases. Lady Gaga talks openly about trauma. Ariana Grande basically live streamed her emotional growth. Even Chappell Roan, who's new to the industry, has a cult-like following because she's not super media trained. In contrary, Dua Lipa stays in a perfect little brand bubble, and that bubble is airtight, which brings us to this weird contradiction. She's everywhere and still feels slightly out of reach. So while Dua's brand is undeniably strong, it might be actually too strong for her own fandom to grow. At this point, we have established that Dua Lipa is objectively good at what she does. The music slaps, the visuals are strong, the brand is airtight. But here's the problem. In pop culture, just being good isn't always enough. In fact, it can work against you, because pop stardom, real pop stardom, isn't just about delivering quality. It's about commanding attention. It's about creating moments, headlines, and eras that feel larger than life. And Dua Lipa, she plays it safe, almost too safe. Now, don't get me wrong, there's something to be said for consistency. While other artists are out here having PR disasters, fan meltdowns, and deleting tweets every other week, Dua stays booked, busy, and unbothered. But that's also why she doesn't dominate conversation the way her peers do. And in a way, it almost feels like she peaked too neatly. Future nostalgia was her critical and commercial sweet spot. The rollout was smooth, the visuals were cohesive, and the timing during lockdown gave it an unexpected longevity. But after that, there was no major reinvention, no shocking pivot, just more Dua, which again is fine, but in pop, repetition starts to blend into background noise. Compare that to someone like Miley Cyrus, who literally reinvents her sound and identity every album cycle. Even someone like Charli XCX, who thrives in the underground, manages to generate more fan discourse just by being unpredictable. Dua, on the other hand, is predictable. You know exactly what you're getting, which means you don't feel like you have to check in. You'll hear her new single eventually on a playlist, in a store, or on someone's Instagram story. You don't actually need to seek it out. That's what happens when an artist is really good but but not disruptive, liked but not loved, admired but not obsessed over. It's the difference between a pop star who makes music and a pop star who makes moments. And until Dua Lipa gives us one of those jaw-dropping, cultural shifting moments, she's always gonna sit right there in the middle, universally respected but rarely stand. So that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. If you're listening to this right now, thank you so much for staying till the end. I appreciate this. Thank you. I love you. And I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more content like this one. Let me know in the comments, do you know anyone who's a die-hard Dua Lipa stan? Or are we all just passively vibing at the same time? I would love to hear your take. And also, if you have any suggestions for future videos, drop them in the comments. I'm always adding ideas to my list. And with that being said, thank you for being here, thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you very soon.